Hello witches, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lucca, and in today's speed build, I am once again working on my save file, and this is just another build in Moonwood Mill. That is so hard for me to say, y'all. I don't know why, it is so difficult to say Moonwood Mill for me, but this is just another build in that world, and I'm almost finished with it at this point. I do have another build finished already for it, and I'm working on the very last one currently. I'm very excited for that one. But the story and the influence, let's just start to talk about the inspiration behind this first. So the inspiration for this was Willow by Taylor Swift, this song from Evermore. I know I've built a house in the past inspired by Willow, but I actually just took that inspiration and just did it again. You know me. But yeah, I built this, and this is a little cabin for a young couple that just you know, they wanted to move out of the city, and they wanted to kind of live off the land. So there is a area to grow their own food. There is a chicken area, there's a cow area. Yeah, it's just, I'm very, very excited. I kind of want to play them myself as well, but maybe just in another world or something like that. But the Sims that live here are Aspen and Ash. Aspen goes by she, her, and she is, you know, she's got the longer, darker hair there, and you might see little snippets of them here and there in the screenshots. And then there is Ash, they go by they, them. And yeah, they are just this, you know, carefree young couple that decided to move out into the, move out to Moonwood Mill. I think that in my head, I kind of want to create some family members for the Sims that I create for these builds. And so I want Aspen, yeah, I want Aspen to have some family, maybe in San Myshuno or maybe Willow Creek, just somewhere that isn't here. And I think that I want Ash to have family here, possibly, maybe. I have another family that I'm kind of planning in my head, and I think it would be pretty cool to have some, maybe she's like a relation to them, maybe she's just like a cousin to them or something. I'm not really sure. That's definitely gonna take a lot of work for me, but I've been really enjoying that part of The Sims lately. Just taking my time and just creating something that I know that I will be proud of and be happy with. And see right here, like for example, right there, I did that path, I did those fence pieces, and I was kind of getting frustrated with them, and I was like, you know, I can just delete this. That's it. Like that, I could just delete it and do something different, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm just gonna give myself that time to do that from now on, because let me tell you, I am so nitpicky, and like I'm so hard on myself over things. Like if I don't figure out something in a build first and foremost, like right as soon as I start, I delete that, and then I'm just like, oh well, now I should just start over from scratch. And I'm just like, what is wrong with me? Why am I doing that? Like, I can't come up with it all at once like this. I gotta give myself some time. And so here with the pathway that I have leading up to the house, I was like, I want to separate it with some kind of fence, but not too much, because this section here is where the garden is going to be. You can kind of see where I have like little areas designated for each thing that I want them to have, because, you know, I want to be able to have them live off the land. So they're going to grow a lot of their own crops out here. They're going to grow, they're going to have a lot of like chickens and cows and other things. And the lot traits for this home are also, I actually added lot traits. I know, right? Me remembering that those exist. But I added the simple living, well, it's a lot challenge. I really like that they did that, because all of in the past, it was just lot traits. And so you only had 3 options, but now you have traits, but then you have challenges also that you can add on to it. So the traits are just like, you know, like little things about the place that, you know, like peace and quiet, or teen hangout, or dog hangout, stuff like that. But the lot challenges are more things that really affect gameplay like a lot more. Like they make it so that it's a lot more challenging to play here. So like this home is off the grid, and it is simple living. So they're trying to live off the land. And you know what? That's hard. I have not tried it yet, but it's pretty hard. And here I am just doing some terrain paint and some landscaping. I really love how this little garden looks. Oh, it's such a dream garden, honestly. It's just kind of wild looking because, you know, in the beginning, I was kind of thinking, okay, I want to make this a very square garden. But at the same time, I was like, that seems just kind of out of character for me. It needs to be a little bit, you know, unique in shape. And you know, at the same time, I feel like they moved onto this lot and they're just making do with what they got. And they're just, yeah, I don't know. I feel like having just like a rectangular garden with a fence around it just seems kind of boring and kind of, you know, typical. And so I just went through and made this really lush and kind of not overgrown, but still a little bit wild, you know, because I feel like they didn't want to just like strip it back completely, because that's a little bit unrealistic. And also it's not very nice looking. When you live in a place like this, you want it to look wild, you want it to blend in, and you just want it to feel like it fits the world that it's in. One thing I might change before because I do plan on giving a little tour of Moonwood Mill whenever I'm finished with it. One thing I might change a little bit is just the fencing, like the layout of the fences that I used. I'm not entirely sure if I love how it looks here, just because this fencing is from, fencing, stone wall, whatever you want to call it. It's from Cottage Living. I don't know if it entirely fits the vibe here because, you know, of course, this is Moonwood Mill. This is supposed to be sort of like Pacific Northwest, kind of in the country, like that kind of atmosphere. And I don't know if the stone wall really suits that. It looks kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm just overthinking it. That's usually the way it is for me. But regardless, I do really enjoy it. And I had a lot of fun landscaping this. Let me tell you, I had so much fun. I had this in my head that I was like, oh, you know, maybe Aspen and Ash lived in the city, but they, you know, traveled here for, you know, a couple years here and there. They would come out here and they would stay in the cabin, but they would, you know, fix up the place. They would, you know, maybe they just like redid the flooring and like they did the landscaping and like they just kind of fixed it up so that it was a little bit more livable and then it was a little bit more theirs. And yeah, that's why the landscaping is kind of nice. I kind of popped off with it, honestly. I'm really happy with it. It's just, I don't know, I used a lot of just a mix and match. I mixed and matched like flower bushes and a lot of grass and mushrooms from Cottage Living. Let me tell you, Cottage Living, definitely recommend that expansion pack. I highly recommend it. The gameplay is wonderful, but the like the actual assets it came with for like the world, oh my goodness, amazing. 10 out of 10, because just the grass and like the flowers and the bushes, like those alone are so good. And then the mushrooms, I love the mushrooms. You know, we love mushrooms. They're just so cute. And like, I just scattered them around here and there, and it just added so much character. I will say the majority of this build, majority of this video is just me working on the exterior, because I don't know, I feel like I always want to jump to the interior, and I feel like that's like the main part of my, you know, speed builds, but I feel like that takes away from everything else on the outside. Like I tend to rush through the exterior. I want to add character. I want to add more than just the inside of the house. I want it to be the outside of the house that you see too. And, you know, I feel like it's also a lot of fun to do the landscaping, because especially in this case, doing the landscaping is just very wild and lush and just it's just very overgrown, and I just love doing overgrown wild landscaping. Now I don't know if I'm gonna do it right here right now, but I know later on I do have this area. I do add an outhouse because you know what, I wanted it to be the real deal, y'all. So they have an outhouse and they have an outdoor shower because it is off the grid, so they don't have any plumbing. There is a sink on the inside. That it's the only sink on the lot, so they're gonna just have to deal with that. But they do also have a wash basin and a clothesline, so they can do their clothes by hand. I thought that added to the experience even more. I can understand laundry can be quite annoying in The Sims 4 because, at least for me, I don't hate it. It's not the worst thing ever, but it can get a bit frustrating sometimes because, at least for me, in The Sims 3, I definitely preferred that aspect of laundry so much more than I do The Sims 4. And also, before I forget, I switched reshade presets here, or G-shade. I use G-shade currently, but I switched presets to, I think I switched to ocean light. No. I switched to rose-colored lenses. I can't remember who created that off the top of my head, but I just switched to a different one because it was just a little bit too bright, the one that I was using, and I just had an ADHD moment because saying that I changed the reshade preset made me forget what I was talking about initially. So yeah, we're just gonna move on. But I love this house. It's so fun, and Moonwood Mill is genuinely one of my favorite worlds in The Sims 4 now. Like, I can't get over it. It's just so beautiful. I love worlds, and I wish we could get more like this in The Sims 4, because Evergreen Harbor is another one of my favorites. I love worlds that are kind of run down and they're kind of old. You can see that there's a lot of character, there's a lot of story, there's a lot of history, and you know, obviously, like, Forgotten Hollow is obviously old and has a lot of history, but for me, I feel like it's almost too fantastical. I think the way that they did Moonwood Mill being like the werewolf world, it feels realistic. It feels like a real small town in the Pacific Northwest, and honestly, I love it. It's just the vibes are everything. But here I am adding some show live edit object, like little just decorations here and there, just to kind of add some more character to the area. I added like a fake tractor and all that good stuff, some like fertilizer bags and like this weird hay thingy. I don't think they needed this stuff, but you know what, it just makes it look really cool and it gives it a lot of character here. And all these things were from Cottage Living, which, oh my gosh, Cottage Living, just like I said earlier, such good assets, amazing. Here I am furnishing the house, and you can see there, I keep going to the category in the in my little catalog that says off the grid. That's actually really cool because because there is like this mode that I'm in here where there's like, it's separated by rooms, but there's another section that separates it by like categories of items, and there's actually an off the grid category, so you know that the lights that are in that section are going to be for the off-the-grid homes. So obviously it's going to be a lot of candles and a lot of lamps and like lanterns and such, but these lights that are hanging from the ceiling are from Jungle Adventure, I'm pretty sure. Do they fit the vibe? I think they do. I like it a lot, and I had to put a fireplace. This one from Cottage Living is perfect because it has like a stove kind of vibe in the middle of it, and it has like the wood on the side. I just feel like that is my favorite like fireplace right now because it just had so much character. I definitely did not limit myself with packs in this build, and I will not be limiting myself with packs in any of my builds for the save file, unfortunately. I know that does kind of affect who can play these, and I do apologize, but at the same time, this is really a personal project for me. I've always wanted to do this, and I think I'm at a point now where I feel really comfortable enough to do that. I have so many good ideas because I'm gonna try my hardest to create builds that represent me, and the fact that I don't really like typical normal looking realistic homes. I like them to have a lot of character and a lot of grunginess. I like there to be a little bit of mess, a little bit of I want things to look lived in, and I want things to look not so perfect, because I feel like that's whenever you feel like it's the most realistic. But this cabin is actually one room. There's no separate rooms or anything. It's just all one big space. Since they have an outhouse and an outdoor shower, they don't need like a bathroom in here. So there's just everything all at once. And I kind of love that. It feels realistic to me, just having a cabin in the woods that just, I'm not saying that that's necessarily what I want for my own life, but it would definitely be very nice to have, at least for a while, or, to go to once in a blue moon. I know that's kind of like a very rich person thing to be like, I'm going to go to my second home, but I would love that. It would be so fun. And I've realized lately, whenever I'm furnishing, I like to put down the items that I want to use first, and then base my flooring and wallpaper off of that. I don't know. I feel like I just have a better workflow when it's like that, because I think that if I try to do it the other way around, I tend to just do the same things over and over. And so I go through the catalog and I pick out things that I want to use, or swatches of things that I want to use, and then I will base things off of that, because I don't know, it's a lot better of a workflow for me, because trying to match furniture to wallpaper is pretty frustrating, because at the end of the day, I might be changing that wallpaper later on. So this way works a lot better for me personally. And of course I had to use the cottage living wallpaper. It's absolutely stunning. I think I keep this. No, I use the one from Cats and Dogs. Oh, okay. I do like that one a lot. That one's really nice. I don't really ever get to use it very much, and I think it works really well here, because it's not like super matchy with the wood tones, and I like that, because if wood tones are too matchy, it can be pretty boring, I'm not gonna lie. But that is basically it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed this. Do let me know in the comments down below what you think, and give me any ideas for like community lots and all that fun stuff that you want to see in this world. I may or may not be doing some of them off camera, just so that I can kind of, you know, figure them out. But yeah, I'll still be showing you all the worlds whenever I finish. Like each neighborhood is gonna have its own video just to kind of show it off. But anyways, take care of yourselves. You can find this build on the gallery under my user ID, luccaowens. That is LUCCAOWENS, as well as the hashtag Lucca. That is LUCCA. But yeah, I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Stay warm, stay cozy, or stay cool if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. But anyways, take care of yourselves. I love you all, and that is everything. Thank you all so very much for watching. Stay weird, and I will speak to you all next time. Goodbye, my friends.